Alright guys, Airsoftjunkiez here. Today we're going to be going over basically how to stabilize your hop up and your barrel in there. It's going to give you better consistency when you're firing. Now I'm going to do this. I know there's probably other ways that you can do this. This is the easiest way that I have found to do this. You can basically get everything you need at your local hardware store. Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardwares, anything that's a hardware store, you can pretty much get this stuff from. It's going to consist of a couple O-rings and Teflon tape. Now I know you can put O-rings on the barrels, you can use other material. Personally, I prefer to use the Teflon tape on the barrel and also the O-rings on the hop up. Now I've never seen anybody do this. Maybe it's been done before. I kind of was doing some experimenting. As I like to call this is Airsoftjunkiez R&D department, research and development. So I spent a lot of time, just messing around with stuff and trying different things out to see what kind of outcome I get. Now this I did, and I actually field tested this in my personal gun. I have been doing it to customers' guns now recently that have asked for it. Shooting is fantastic. I'm running a flat hop in this with just a standard stock barrel that I polished. Or you can use a tight bore. I prefer tight bores or just polished or just stock barrel. I know some guys prefer Orgas. Here at Airsoftjunkiez, we prefer to use tight bores and just stock barrels. This is going to be in a Polar Star setup. It will also work if you want to use an SMP. I've done it in SMPs as well. So it is up to you. I'm just going to go over kind of how to do this. So it can help you guys out. It's quick. You can just run to the local hardware store. You can pick up the materials and you can do this yourself and get your guns up and working to maximum performance pretty quick. So I'm going to break down this gun here and just kind of show you guys what I did. And I'll go ahead and take you through the steps of what you actually need to do this. It's pretty easy. It'll take you about 5 minutes, and then you just need to reassemble it. And we'll go from there. All right. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's going to be kind of tough for me to pull my hop up out. Not too bad. So basically what I've done here is I've taken Teflon tape and wrapped it down the barrel, basically overlapping about half of it all the way down. As you can see, it's kind of torn it off a little bit. This is going to help stabilize your barrel. So stabilizing the barrel is going to help it from having that little bit of play when it's inside of the outer barrel. Like I said before, you can use O-rings to do this. I prefer personally just to use Teflon tape. I like it. I think it works perfectly fine, and it's pretty cheap, and you can have it in an abundance amount. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off all this Teflon tape and just kind of show you guys how I did this. Now this hop-up setup that I'm using, like I said, it's just a stock brass barrel that would come in pretty much any AEG when you get it. I'm using a PROWIN hop-up. I have the screw on here as well as a spring. You don't really need the spring anymore once you do this mod, because once you push this thing in, it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, so basically just grab your Teflon tape. Pull it out, make sure to keep it straight. I'm going to do this kind of messy just because I'm trying to do it quick for you guys so you guys can go try it out for yourselves. So basically start wrapping it around, keep it straight, you can pull it out, just keep it tight, and then basically overlap the barrel and just wrap it all the way down. So personally, that's about how I do it. I leave about 3 to 4 inches on the end that I don't wrap. So once you're done with that, you're set. Now, these can be picked up at your local hardware store, or you guys can order them offline. They're just some standard O-rings, 5/16 outer diameter, 3/16 inner diameter. Now, what I'm doing with these is I'm going to take them and you got these guides here on your PROWIN hop-up or whatever hop-up chamber it is that you're using. So just go ahead and take the O-rings and place them there on your guides. So once you place them there on your guides, now you're going to take it and install it back into the upper receiver. Now it's going to be a little hard to push in depending on how much Teflon tape you have put on. So just go ahead and push it down. Now once you get to the O-rings, you're going to tell that there's quite a bit of resistance. Depending on how much Teflon tape you put on, you might have resistance even putting the barrel in a little bit. Tape you have it may be harder to push it in even starting. Now, don't force it in there. If it's stuck, it's stuck. You put too much tape on, you need to redo it. The biggest thing with this is the O-rings that are on the side of the guides. That's going to stop your hop-up chamber from wiggling back and forth left and right. I know a lot of people run into midcap feeding issues. I'm one of them. My 416 here, VFC, I had tons of midcap feeding issues, and this is what set me out to seek alternatives to correct the issue. I think what was happening is, and again this is in theory, is the little bit of play that was left and right in the hop-up chamber here, depending on how much room was on the magazine where the hop-up chamber went in. If it was a little bit out of tolerance, and we're talking only a couple millimeters, that's probably why your BBs aren't being pushed up into the hop-up and it's feeding. This corrected it. This thing, I have actually put Elite Force midcaps in it, full auto at about 22, 23 rounds a second. I was shooting 0.43 gram BBs on full auto, semi, no issues at all. So once you get it down in there and you get that little bit of resistance, again, when you're pushing it down, make sure not to twist the hop up left or right. If you do that, it's going to throw your alignment off. So be careful, because you're going to put it together and then you're going to shoot and you're going to be like, oh wow, my BBs are going left or right or some crazy direction you don't want it to go. So then once you get done with that, grab your lower receiver and just slide it on. And then use your lower receiver to push the hop up the rest of the way in. And there you go. Now you've completed, you've done the install. Now it's time to test it. If you stick your finger in there and you try and move that hop-up chamber, there's no play in it at all. This is probably going to solve a lot of the midcap feeding issues or even consistency issues. We actually did a side-by-side comparison of just a standard PROWIN with a flat hop shooting, and about every 4 or 5 rounds you'd catch that one stray round that would fly off. With this thing, we were shooting and there was 0 flyers. And I know a lot of people are going to say, that's kind of unbelievable. It really was. We had the players at the game, they saw it, and they were even wondering what we did to get it. This thing was just shooting laser beams. The groupings were outstanding. So I highly recommend you guys go and try this out. Like I said, the combination in this one, and you can use a Tightmore for it as well. I'm just running a stock brass barrel in this with a PROWIN hop up, maple leaf bucking, flat hop using the maple leaf flat hop nub. So if you guys do have any questions, please put them in the comments section. We're trying to make as many videos as we can to help you guys out. If you do have any suggestions or things that you want to see, please let us know and we will get them out to you guys, okay? Thank you.